This ship ferries 4,000 cars. Yours could have been on it. This tanker helps carry half the world's oil. Your central heating could depend on it. This crane is part of an army that moves a quarter of the world's shipping cargo. Your television set could have been carried by it. They're all here in Singapore, the busiest port in the world. Now imagine if it all was forced to a halt. When a megaship decides it's in a hurry, watch out. This is not going to be just another day. The Shenzhen is not a ship that will sail into any port, and it will not allow just anyone to try what he's about to do.
Good morning, sir. Approaching you
Harbor
now.
pilot Joseph is about to squeeze the ship through the narrowest channel of one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world.
Beautiful ship.
This ship has it all. Stretching the length of 4 747s, standing a commanding 19 stories tall, it turns even old sea hands into softies.
There's always a lot of pride in taking a ship like this by sheer size and the kind of power that it has.
If it's about size, this ship's port of call wins hands down. No port gets busier than Singapore. So whether you see it from up there or down here, this is mega. In the heart of Southeast Asia is Singapore, a modern island nation smaller than New York City, but it is home to one of the world's busiest container terminals and some of the world's most important shipyards. An army 6,000 strong keeps the port moving 24/7. At any time of the day, 1,000 ships are docked. Another drops anchor every 2 to 3 minutes. And on the days when a mega ship sails in, every second becomes a battle. Get them loaded, on their way, on time. When the pressure mounts, no one will feel the heat like the troops in the front line. Up there in their mega cranes, 10 stories high, these are seasoned soldiers, and they win the rooms with the view.
I think I got the most beautiful view. The sea, you got island opposite me. Every time I come to work, it's so refreshing.
30 minutes and counting. The megaship is on its way in. At the port's traffic control, there is no room for error.
OOCL Shenzhen, this is VTIS East. Good morning, over.
All eyes are fixed on the Shenzhen as it inches through one of the most congested waterways in the world. The bridge of the megaship was designed to run with just one man. But with the traffic outside, even a seasoned pilot needs all the gadgets he can get. The ship's radar tracks real-time its every move, and it monitors everything else that moves near the ship, second by second. But no gadget ever beats hands-on gut feel, especially right now. A sudden tropical storm takes them all by surprise. The Shenzhen slips slowly into its berth, straining against the current, the wind, and the rain.
See the streaks coming that way. Bit of an anxious moment when there was a little bit of wind that came just as the rain was going to come. Slow start.
Finally, Joseph takes the Shenzhen in, parallel parking a ship as long as 67 cars.
Well, the ship's alongside, and I'll leave it to the terminal to take care of it.
Within minutes, the troops get going and the first container comes down. But this is one of the largest container vessels in the world, so there's a lot more, like enough to fill 1,500 747s. Work has barely begun when new orders come in. The Shenzhen has to take on more cargo, but its departure to Europe, scheduled for tonight, cannot be delayed.
Time is precious. We need to depart from this port at a certain time. We just can't sit down here and wait, for all the delays to come.
So the next 15 hours will be a face-off between the mega ship and the mega cranes. In the hands of an expert, each crane moves 35 containers an hour. But on duty today, with a personal best of 45 containers, meet Kiang.
To expedite the turnaround of the vessel, we basically sometimes have to work a standard shift, and we will come back on our day off to help man the equipments.
To beat the clock, he needs a strategy. So here's Kiang's three-step system. Step 1, max the machine. This is the latest in crane technology, and it lifts 2 containers at a time. Step 2, know your machine. So here's Key Crane 101.
This right-hand lever is actually to hoist and lower down the spreader. Okay, this is to hoist and lower down the spreader. And this left-hand side is to move the crane. We call this trolling. Okay, this is to troll it. And of course, this is a flipper to help us to flip the up and down to basically catch the container. This is the flipper. And of course, to lock and unlock container, this is the 2 buttons.
Oh, and one more thing before he forgets.
I think the most important, you must not be afraid of heights.
Actually, here's the all-important step 3. Have a plan. Unloading a ship is not about grabbing the nearest container. Take too much off one end, and this could happen. Meanwhile, at traffic control, more ships keep buzzing in. With 9 radars and cameras throughout the port, the $40 million Vessel Traffic Information Service, or VTIS, can track 5,000 ships in real time, all the time.
As a VTIS operator, it is very similar to an air traffic controller. They control aeroplanes and we control ships.
This is the man with the toughest job in traffic control. Bangkok's beat is the busiest sector of the world's busiest port.
What's happening is this ship, the name is called Zhehai, the 315. She's actually berthed alongside K16. And the pilot has just called me for channel currents to depart from the berth. Roger,
From this room, controllers police the waters around Singapore, a vital shipping lane between Europe and Asia. At the route's narrowest point, where vessels are squeezed through channels packed with ships, reefs, and shallows, is the port of Singapore. Without the controllers to sound alerts, some ships may not make it through.
Okay, you don't have collision. You may have vessels proceeding against the general traffic flow. You have vessels going aground, shallow water. You can repeatedly inform him, hey, you are approaching boarding ground Alpha, please proceed at safe speed. If he doesn't check his speed, doesn't drop his speed, he's going to get grounded. And that is very scary. It happens, yeah, in a watch, if you're lucky, it happens one. Lucky, it happens one. If you're unlucky, the whole day is going to be stressful. Your stomach is going to hurt.
This was one of those days. Despite repeated warnings from traffic control, 2 vessels collided just outside Singapore. But the odds that this could happen again are 6 in a million. Because back at traffic control, someone is always on watch.
There can be times where the situation is so tight that you have 5 ships coming into the harbor, another 5 on the way out. And in that kind of tight situation, you have to go to the extent of actually allocating numbers. You're number 1, you're number 2, and you'll be number 3. So everybody just have to comply with very specifically to the instruction because the situation is so tight, we don't want anything adverse to happen.
But this morning, a situation is developing at one of the main gates into the port. An alarm has gone off. A container truck is hauled aside. Before September 11th, all officers had to worry about were contraband and stowaways. Today, a high-risk container could mean something very different.